Clark's first half of 2024 wasn't just basketball, it was history in the making, filled with record-breaking plays and moments fans will never forget. Before Caitlyn Clark even touched a WNBA court, she had already changed the game at Iowa. She became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, leaving legends like Pete Maravich behind, and she did it with deep threes that seemed to come from another zip code. Every arena she played in was packed, ticket sales spiked, and television networks scrambled to put her games in primetime. The Caitlyn Cam was born just to track her every move on the court. And suddenly, women's basketball wasn't a niche story, it was the story. Fans drove across states to see her, opposing crowds turned hostile just to be part of the spectacle, and every headline screamed about the player who was rewriting history in real time. But as crazy as it was in college, that was just the beginning. Her senior season wasn't just impressive, it felt like the kind of story you'd expect to see in a documentary years from now. Caitlyn Clark was no longer just the star of Iowa basketball. She was the heartbeat of the entire NCAA. Night after night, she pulled off plays that looked impossible. She didn't just lead her team, she carried an entire sport on her shoulders. She became the first player, men or women, to record triple-doubles in all 4 seasons, showing that she wasn't just a scorer, but the kind of player who could dominate every single part of the game. And then came the night that would define her college legacy. 49 points, 13 assists, and a highlight reel so outrageous it looked like something out of a video game. She was hitting threes from the logo, threading impossible passes, and silencing entire crowds with a single shot. The cameras couldn't keep up, and social media exploded as clips of that performance spread around the world. But it didn't stop there. Clark had a way of turning regular season games into legendary moments. That cold-blooded buzzer beater from nearly half court instantly became one of the most iconic shots in women's basketball history. Fans replayed it over and over, calling her range limitless, while even NBA stars tweeted in disbelief. Every time she stepped on the floor, it felt like a new record was waiting to fall. And sure enough, she passed every milestone, becoming the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I history, topping both men's and women's lists, a feat no one thought possible just a few years earlier. What she did at Iowa wasn't just about numbers, it was about impact. She filled arenas that had never sold out before, pushed television ratings higher than men's games for the first time ever, and created an atmosphere where every fan knew they were witnessing history in real time. By the time her college career ended, it wasn't just Iowa fans who celebrated her. The entire country had fallen in love with the phenomenon known as Caitlyn Clark. But as legendary as her college career was, the real test was still waiting. Draft night was coming, and the question was clear. Could Caitlyn take all that magic from Iowa and bring it to the WNBA? Draft night in April 2024 didn't feel like a WNBA event, it felt like a global spectacle. Every camera, every headline, every fan in the room was waiting for just one name, Caitlyn Clark. And when the Indiana Fever officially took her as the #1 overall pick, the arena erupted. It was the moment everyone knew was coming, yet it still felt surreal. She wasn't just walking across a stage, she was stepping into history, carrying the hopes of an entire league on her back. Her jersey sold out within minutes. Fever ticket sales spiked to levels the franchise had never seen before. Games that once struggled to fill seats were suddenly sold out weeks in advance. Reporters compared it to LeBron James entering the NBA. Suddenly, the WNBA had its biggest star in decades, and she hadn't even played a single professional game yet. But with all the hype came pressure. Could Caitlyn live up to the sky-high expectations? Could she carry a struggling Fever team back into relevance? Fans, analysts, even her critics were watching her every move. And when the time finally came for her pro debut, the entire sports world tuned in to see if she could back up the hype. What happened next would prove that Caitlyn Clark was more than just a college star. She was ready to set the WNBA on fire. Her debut game was unlike anything the league had ever seen. Caitlyn Clark walked into her first WNBA matchup with the weight of an entire sport on her shoulders. And in true Caitlyn fashion, she didn't shy away from the moment. She scored 20 points, showing flashes of her signature deep-range shooting and fearless drives to the rim. But The night wasn't perfect. She also recorded 10 turnovers, a reminder that even the greatest rookies face growing pains. Yet, instead of shaking her confidence, it made the story even better. Fans didn't just see a star, they saw a human who was still learning, still fighting, still hungry. And then the fireworks really started. In her first weeks, Caitlyn delivered back-to-back 30-point games, tying the rookie record with 7 three-pointers in a single night. The Fever, a team that had been buried at the bottom of the standings for years, suddenly felt alive again. Every highlight was clipped, shared, and replayed millions of times. Kids wore her jersey to school. Analysts debated if she was already the most impactful rookie the league had ever seen, and the Fever became must-watch television. But it wasn't just about scoring. Caitlyn's vision on the court turned her into an instant playmaker. She racked up 13 assists in one game, breaking the Fever's single-game record. Not long after, she became the first rookie in league history to record a triple-double, showing that she could dominate in every category. And then came the jaw-dropping 19-assist performance, yes, 19-inch, a single game, rewriting the record books again, and cementing her place as the engine of the Indiana Fever. Every game felt like history unfolding in real time. Opposing coaches tried everything: double teams, traps, full court pressure, but nothing slowed her down for long. And even when she struggled, the crowds never left, the cameras never stopped rolling, and the story only got bigger. Caitlyn Clark wasn't just adjusting to the WNBA, she was already redefining it. But her numbers were only part of the story. The real question was, could she turn all these highlights into something greater? Could she lead Indiana, a team that had been desperate for success, into playoff contention? The answer came sooner than anyone expected. By the halfway mark of the 2024 season, Caitlyn Clark's impact on the WNBA wasn't just obvious, it was historic. The Indiana Fever, a team that had spent years at the bottom of the standings, suddenly looked dangerous again. With Caitlyn running the floor, every possession felt like it could turn into something special. She averaged nearly 20 points per game, led the entire league in assists with over 8 per night, and still pulled down almost 6 rebounds, a complete stat line that no rookie had ever touched before. Her highlights weren't just individual, they were changing the direction of her franchise. For the first time in nearly a decade, Indiana fans had hope. The Fever were fighting for playoff position, shocking teams that had once overlooked them. And every win felt like proof that Caitlyn wasn't just a scorer, she was a leader who could elevate an entire roster. The accolades started pouring in. She was named Rookie of the Month again and again until it felt like the award had her name permanently engraved on it. She broke the rookie scoring record, the rookie assist record, and became the first rookie in WNBA history to record multiple triple-doubles in a single season. By the end of that first stretch, she was not only the clear Rookie of the Year favorite, she was already in the conversation as one of the top guards in the league, period. The honors kept stacking. She earned an all-star starter spot in her very first season, something almost unheard of. Analysts put her on their All-WNBA first-team ballots, comparing her impact to league veterans with years of experience. ESPN gave her the spotlight, Time magazine named her Athlete of the Year, and she even collected an ESPY for Best College Athlete on top of it all, bridging her legendary Iowa career with her new professional dominance. But as impressive as the trophies and numbers were, they didn't capture the full story. Because Caitlyn Clark wasn't just building a resume, she was sparking a movement. The Caitlyn Clark effect was real, and it was about to take women's basketball places it had never gone before. Caitlyn Clark's story wasn't just about basketball, it was about shifting the culture of an entire sport. The Caitlyn Clark effect became the phrase on everyone's lips because wherever she went, everything changed. Television ratings for women's games shattered records, with audiences tuning in at levels that had never been seen before. Regular season matchups that once drew modest attention were suddenly pulling numbers bigger than the NBA's primetime broadcasts. ESPN moved her games into headline slots, and arenas across the country were sold out weeks in advance, just for the chance to watch her play live. By the end of the first half of 2024, Caitlyn Clark had already accomplished what most athletes spend their entire careers chasing. She went from breaking every college record imaginable at Iowa to transforming the WNBA the moment she stepped onto the court. She didn't just play the game, she redefined it. Every three-pointer from the logo, every laser-sharp assist, every record-breaking night reminded fans that they were witnessing something historic. But the numbers only tell part of the story. What Caitlyn really gave the game was momentum. Momentum that pulled women's basketball into the mainstream like never before. She made every arena feel like the center of the sports world, turned casual viewers into passionate fans, and inspired an entire generation of kids who now dream bigger because of her. And the truth is, this is only the beginning. If the first half of 2024 was Caitlyn Clark's opening act, the question isn't whether she'll keep breaking records, it's how far she'll push the sport itself. Because Caitlyn isn't just chasing greatness, she's building it in real time. And when we look back years from now, we'll remember these highlights as the moment women's basketball changed forever. Her presence alone transformed the Indiana Fever into a national brand. Tickets that once went unsold were now being resold at premium prices, merchandise sales exploded, and kids lined up outside arenas holding handmade signs with her name on them. She wasn't just a player, she had become the face of a movement that proved women's basketball could command the same attention, the same respect, and the same passion as any other sport. But with all that attention came new conversations. Media critics pointed out that Caitlyn, a white player, was receiving more mainstream coverage than many black stars who had been carrying the league for years. It sparked debates about race, branding, and visibility in women's sports. Some saw her rise as a breakthrough moment for the entire WNBA, while others argued it highlighted long-standing issues in how athletes are promoted. Whether you agreed or not, one thing was clear. Caitlyn Clark had become more than an athlete, she was a cultural flashpoint, forcing the world to pay attention in ways that couldn't be ignored. Even the NBA took notice. Stars like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry publicly praised her game, with some calling her range unlimited and her court vision elite. Suddenly, conversations about women's basketball weren't happening in the shadows. They were happening on the biggest platforms in sports. And through it all, Caitlyn kept playing her game, never shying away from the spotlight. She wasn't just carrying the fever, she was carrying an entire movement. And as the first half of 2024 came to a close, one question was on everyone's mind. If this is only the beginning, just how far can Caitlyn Clark go? By the end of the first half of 2024, Caitlyn Clark had already accomplished what most athletes spend their entire careers chasing. She went from breaking every college record imaginable at Iowa to transforming the WNBA the moment she stepped onto the court. She didn't just play the game, she redefined it. Every three-pointer from the logo, every laser-sharp assist, every record-breaking night reminded fans that they were witnessing something historic. But the numbers only tell part of the story. What Caitlyn really gave the game was momentum. Momentum that pulled women's basketball into the mainstream like never before. She made every arena feel like the center of the sports world, turned casual viewers into passionate fans, and inspired an entire generation of kids who now dream bigger because of her. And the truth is, this is only the beginning. If the first half of 2024 was Caitlyn Clark's opening act, the question isn't whether she'll keep breaking records, it's how far she'll push the sport itself. Because Caitlyn isn't just chasing greatness, she's building it in real time. And when we look back years from now, we'll remember these highlights as the moment women's basketball changed forever.